Hey, beautiful, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Paulina Xenia, and I'm your favorite love hypnotist, helping you manifest your dream relationship with your specific person or new love. Today, we're gonna talk about how to forgive your specific person and to transcend the past so that you can create this new future for yourself. Because this is a question I often get asked from my clients like, yeah, I want my specific person back, but how can I forgive them for all of the things that they did in the past? How can I forgive them for hurting me so much and for putting me through so much pain? How can I let go of that resentment and that frustration towards my specific person? It doesn't really matter what happened in the past with your specific person, like what they did and what they said to hurt you and to put you through so much pain. Maybe they betrayed your trust by lying or cheating on you. Maybe they ghosted you out of the blue, left you for a third party, for someone else, for another woman or man. Maybe during the breakup they said something very hurtful that is so hard to forgive, like they said that they never wanted to see you again or hear from you again, and they told you to just move on. What happened in the past does not matter at all, but what matters is that we learned to transcend the past so that we're no longer creating our future based on the things that happened in the past through keeping the past alive in our body because we're still holding on to that frustration, that anger, that resentment. Because what I often see is that people go about manifesting their specific persons back from the space of still feeling hurt and angry and resentful towards their specific person for all of the things that happened in the past. And they do all of the work on a daily basis. They do those viral manifesting techniques like the O method, the whisper method, the 555 method. They repeat self concept and specific person affirmations in front of the mirror every day, and maybe they even listen to generic YouTube sleep tapes at night. And then they're wondering why they see no movement with their manifestation, why their specific person is still not back, and maybe it has been already 3 months of doing all of the work. And it's really because of this missing piece to the manifestation puzzle that we're gonna talk about today, which is we are still holding on to that hurt and resentment from the past in our body. And for as long as we're holding on to this, we're keeping the past alive, meaning we are not creating a new reality for ourselves, manifesting our specific person dream relationships. Instead, we are keeping ourselves stuck in the reality of not having our specific person. Now, forgiving your specific person and letting go of the past and all of those negative emotions like hurt, resentment, and frustration is not always an easy process. I actually see some of my clients trying to skip this part of the manifestation process and to move on to the other parts of the manifestation process that feel more light and fun. But often skipping this part is the reason for why people don't see results. Inside my comprehensive program for manifesting your specific person within 21 days, we go in depth into letting go of the past and forgiving your specific person in week 1. And that's really the foundational piece before we're even moving on to week 2. Before I give you a practical process for actually forgiving your specific person and letting go of that past hurt and resentment, I just want to make this super clear. Forgiving your specific person does not mean to forget about all of the things that happened in the past. It doesn't even mean forgetting what happened in the past. Like, is that even possible? It doesn't mean excusing your specific person's poor behavior or the things that they did and said to you. Approving what happened in some way or even neglecting your feelings or denying your hurts. How I see this is that forgiveness is actually the most selfish thing that you can do for yourself. Yes, even if you're forgiving your specific person, you are doing it for you. Because even if your specific person did or said something that hurt you and made you feel like shit, we have to remember that we were the ones creating it. Like when you take your power back and you realize that that was your own creation, you created that version of your specific person to show up that way, to tell you those hurtful things, to do those things to you that put you through so much pain. And you not only manifested that version of your specific person, like stay with me here, but you also manifested those specific experiences into your life in the love and relationship department. And when you take your power back and you realize it was all your own creation, you also understand that you actually own yourself an apology. Because maybe right now you have secretly been waiting for your specific person to come back and to apologize for all of the hurtful things that they said and did in the past. But there's actually no point in trying to get that apology from your specific person, or even any point being angry or feeling frustrated towards your specific person, because the way that they showed up, the way that they treated you, the way that they behaved and acted towards you was all your creation. Like you have the right to feel hurt, but there's really no point in feeling hurt for a long time when you understand that you were the one that manifested that version of your specific person in the first place, and also manifested all of those past experiences with your specific person. So that's really the first part here that I want you to understand. And the second part here is more about maybe emotional intelligence, where we also have to understand that another person can't make us feel anything. Like it doesn't matter what they say or what they do. We are the ones choosing in that moment, based on the things that they say or do, to feel a certain way. We are the ones choosing to give our power away to them and let them dictate how we feel in that moment. Like, are you getting this? Nobody can actually hurt you with their actions or with their words unless you let them, unless you give your power away to them. And I'm really here helping you take your power back and realizing that the only reason that you ever felt hurt was because you manifested that version of your specific person into your life through your own mind, the subconscious mind, right? And there was also some part of you that manifested those experiences in love and relationships into your life. So once you get to this point where you really understand that everybody is you pushed out in this way, you also understand that forgiveness is for you and it's between you, and that you actually own yourself an apology for, first of all, creating those experiences that made you feel hurt, and secondly, allowing yourself to feel hurt. And just have compassion for yourself, because back then you did not know any better, but right now you do. Now there's also gonna be a difference between forgiving your specific person at an intellectual level compared to at an emotional level. What I see many people do, which is not gonna yield the results that you actually want, is that they are forgiving their specific person at an intellectual level. This looks like saying things like, yes, I forgive my person and I don't care anymore. And that's actually a form of emotional repression. And so these stored emotions and this hurt and this pain is gonna stay with you in your body, and thus then creating more experiences in the future that are not so desirable. It's saying things like, yeah, it's in the past and we're not gonna talk about it anymore. Just like shrugging things under the carpet, almost like denying that they ever even happened. And doing this is not what I mean when I say to forgive your specific person, because this is still you giving your power away to your person and to those experiences that happened with your person in the past, while still carrying the painful emotions, that hurt, that resentment around in your body everywhere you go, and thus creating more similar experiences for yourself in the future. When you instead forgive at an emotional level, which is what we're gonna dive into here today, and I'm gonna give you a process for doing that, This is when you're forgiving at the subconscious level, because you know it's your subconscious mind, that's the part of your brain that is creating your reality anyways, and the subconscious mind is manifesting things into your life on autopilot, like people and experiences. So when you forgive at the emotional level or the subconscious level, that is you utilizing the body as well, because your body is the subconscious. When I talk about the subconscious mind, people only think that that's the part of your brain, but we have to remember that there is this mind and body connection, and so it's not only your brain that is the subconscious, your body is also the subconscious, because your body is gonna be affected by your brain. How it looks like to forgive your specific person at the emotional level is that you're gonna allow yourself to feel that hurt and that resentment from those past experiences in your body. It really requires neutralizing the past experiences in your body so that you clear those icky negative emotions attached to the past and those experiences. And you do this through feeling those emotions in the body now. And then there's gonna be this emotional release after forgiving. Because we have to remember that our subconscious stores all of those past experiences, and those painful emotions are stored in the body. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna release the painfully stored emotions and the imprints in the subconscious about those past experiences, so that you can fully let go of that hurt and resentment and forgive your specific person once and for all. So let's start with the step-by-step process for forgiving your specific person. If you haven't already, I want you to grab your notebook, grab your pen and paper, and let's dive into it. Step number 1 here is to really identify what is it that you want to forgive. So I want you to ask yourself these questions. When you think of your past, and specifically the things that happened between you and your specific person, what are some experiences and some events that may have been negative? Or what are some things that your specific person did or said that come up for you that have caused you to feel, for example, undeserving, not good enough, less than, or unlovable? If you were to be completely honest with yourself, what are the first feelings that come to mind when you think of your specific person? Like, how do you feel about them right now? Is there resistance? Is there frustration, anger, hurt, sadness, doubt, uncertainty, hesitation, fear, worry? What is it that you have been holding on to that you know that you're ready to forgive right now? What is the painful feeling inside of you giving you feedback about? Then in step number 2, we're gonna neutralize those negative emotions from those past experiences and events. Maybe you can do this through finding some positive learnings from these experiences, because what we really want to do here is we want to create more understanding and have more compassion towards our specific person so that we're able to forgive them. So just ask yourself, what did you learn from these experiences? How did you grow as a person from these experiences? How can you see this thing that happened in a different way? Is there a possibility for you to see it in a new light? Like, I want you to take a look at that experience that happened and try to understand your specific person's intentions there. What would have caused him or her to react that way, to say those things, to do those things? Because the last thing you want to do here is internalize your specific person's behaviors or actions. So asking yourself, how is your specific person's actions and behaviors, the things that they did and said, independent of you? Just so that you don't internalize the things that your specific person did or said and think that they did that because you're not good enough, that they said those things because you're not lovable. I want you to peel off the layer of self-judgment and criticism here so that you can see that experience as more neutral. Instead of thinking of that experience through the lens of your eyes, I want you to think of that experience through the lens of maybe a camera in the room or a random person. And if this is hard to do right now, I completely understand why. That's just because your emotions are still so entangled with that experience, and that is totally fine. So what you want to do instead then first is clear those feelings out of your body. Inside my programs, we do this through a combination of different tools like hypnosis and breathwork that are really powerful for processing your emotions in a healthy way and getting them out of your system. But what you can do right now on your own is you just close your eyes and you start taking a couple of deep belly breaths to just relax the body, relax the mind. And then I want you to bring up a past experience with your specific person that you have a hard time forgiving them for. It can be something that happened years ago, months ago, or just weeks ago. It can be something very old or more recent. Whatever it is, I want you to just bring that experience into your mind. Just see that experience in your mind's eye, looking through your own eyes, as if you're experiencing it right this second. Yes, it will feel unpleasant, and that's the point. I want you to bring that experience up into your mind, and then I want you to feel as if you're experiencing it right this moment. I want you to allow yourself to go there, and I want you to feel those feelings in your body as if you're experiencing it right now. And I want you to notice where in your body you feel those feelings. Maybe you feel something in your throat, something in your chest, something in your stomach, and you're just gonna allow those feelings to be there. You're gonna sit with those feelings even if it feels uncomfortable. And I promise you, if you do this for even just 10 to 15 minutes, those feelings are gonna start going away. You're just gonna sit there, feel through those emotions, and that's how you neutralize those emotions, because that experience is then not gonna have that emotional hold over you anymore. Then step number 3 is really to identify your self-concept gaps so that you know exactly what those limiting beliefs, those fears, and those insecurities are for you that you need to eliminate or change. So step number 3 is where we're gonna identify the core beliefs and painful stories that you're telling about yourself because of this experience that happened in the past. Because you know that the past doesn't exist anymore. It only exists in your mind and your body as a memory. So if it's still impacting you, it's not just the past experience that's here in the present moment. It's the imprint that you're carrying at the subconscious level. And so this is a way to neutralize these imprints so that you take your power back. So ask yourself here, what is it that I made this experience mean about myself? Did you make it mean that you're not worthy of love? That you're not good enough for your specific person? That people won't stay in your life? That there's something inherently wrong with you? Just know that whatever the meaning you gave here and whatever the story was for you here is pointing to a self-concept gap, which is a subconscious program that is running on autopilot, creating less than favorable experiences in your 3D reality. It can either be a limiting belief, a fear, an insecurity, or just some past wound. But the thing here is that when you change that part of your self-concept, when you change that belief about yourself, when you release that fear, when you eliminate that insecurity, that is when you're not gonna create the same meaning about that experience that happened in the past with your person anymore. You're not gonna think anything bad about you. You're not gonna think that that experience happened because you did not matter, because there was something wrong with you, because you were stupid or bad or whatever. The meaning that you give that experience is gonna be completely different because you're no longer gonna internalize it. And then step number 4 here, which is the last step that I have for you, is to challenge the story. Realize that the story you have been telling yourself about that experience is just one interpretation of what happened. And you can reframe it. You can find other ways to look at that same experience. And the reason for why we were even looking for those intentions and those motives behind your specific person's actions and behaviors was because that often helps you release the personalized feeling and that hurt and that resentment towards that experience. Because when we intentionally try to create understanding at the logical level, it often creates the emotional output of compassion as well. And this in turn should create this internal shift or this sense of relief, and that is a very powerful experience. I hope that this step by step process was helpful for you, and I would love to hear how you're doing after you have done it. So please feel free to either send me a message on Instagram or drop it in the comment section